you hear me?
The New York Knicks may have officially won this trade against the Minnesota Timberwolves, as frankly, Dario, while Dante Divincenzo seems to sputter and the Timberwolves are getting sick of the way that Julius Randle is playing basketball, we're doing just fine with Karl-Anthony Towns thus far into the season, and we are going to break it down. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest Happy Hour, episode 8. Matt could not make it today because he is afraid of the dark, and it did get dark out, so he had to run into hiding, which, I mean, it's understandable. He just doesn't he's afraid of the dark. There's nothing else to do there. That's obviously not true. Matt's just off doing some other stuff right now, but he'll be back soon, as in next week. Dario, the New York Knicks, man, looking better, and on top of that, Minnesota Timberwolves are not looking so hot right now. It's starting to seem like the New York Knicks won this trade.
So that's how you want to start the live?
That's how I'm starting the live right now, man. That is how I'm starting. We are live. Hit me up in the comments. I'll also be live in here. Sorry, I cut you off.
Nah, you're good. I was gonna say I see the type of energy that you're on. 8-7. Yeah, I mean, Dante. It seems like he's having a rough start to the season. Julius Randle, from what I've seen, I don't watch the Minnesota Timberwolves, but I do try and watch the highlights from their games and the NBA highlights that they put up. They show Julius Randle attacking the rim. They show Dante hitting his three every once in a while. This is the thing, man. It's just Julius Randle. You know my gripe with him: a ball stopper. He slows the offense down. And when the trade went down, my initial thoughts were like, "Yo, how is that gonna work with Ant?" Now, from what I've seen, it works. It's working a little bit better than I imagined. I thought they would have a little bit more of a rough time adjusting to Julius Randle. And then, of course, Anthony Edwards, he said, this was maybe a week or two ago, I think it was a post-game interview where he said that him and his teammates, they're going to try and work around Julius Randle instead of Julius Randle working around Anthony Edwards. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. Because if I was Anthony Edwards, I'm like, yo, you're coming to my team. You're the second option. You're gonna run through me. But I don't know. It's just interesting to see how Dante and Julius Randle have started off with the T-Wolves.
Now, Dario, Julius Randle has had a rough start, but it has not been the start that Dante Divincenzo has had. Devo is shooting 32.4% from three this season and 35% from the field. 73% of his shots this season have been from behind the arc. He's not too thrilled about being a bench player. Remember, that came out about Divincenzo when he got traded off the Knicks. There's a thought he wouldn't want to be a bench player. Well, on Minnesota, he's still on the bench, and I just did a video on this, and it's not out yet. It'll come out soon after this live stream, but there's a world where Divincenzo now might get moved to a different contender. I have to charge my computer, so the live stream doesn't randomly end, but look.
Wait, what's the rumor?
That Dante Divincenzo is being marketed to some potential contenders that might be interested in trading for him at the deadline, and
do you have any team specifically, or
well, I know one team that's a contender.
Is that going to be in your video? Is that why you like? I don't want to spoil
I
it.
did a video specifically considering the Knicks, and how trading for him back would be one of the great robberies in NBA history, especially with the way Towns is playing in comparison to Randle. I will say I think he's going to end up on the Lakers. Like, on a side note, I do think he's going to end up on the Lakers. The Lakers have assets. They have that expiring D'Angelo Russell deal. They can move with a first-round pick and land Dante, and then, I mean, he fits perfectly on that team. And then you could run LeBron, AD, and 3 white dudes in the starting lineup, which would be funny. But
Yeah,
I do think it would be them.
we need a nickname, dude, for Austin Reeves and West Side Connection. Because that is, I love seeing, no offense, but I love seeing like white boys on NBA teams like doing their thing because it's such like a, it sticks out so much. No offense.
No, we move differently. We're less coordinated as a people.
It's just like some like you see a white boy on the court and you're like, okay, we don't know if you have game, but then when he's like putting the ball on the floor, when he's spinning off people, when he's like showing that he has handles, like the amount of respect that I have for Austin Reeves and Dalton Connect right now is I love watching it. And Dalton Connect is having a really good start to the season. But yeah, if Dante goes to the Lakers and Dante ends up being in that starting lineup, then that'll be we need a nickname for that.
Absolutely. And this season, Julius Randle's averaging 22 points per game with 7 rebounds and 4 assists. The raw numbers don't look bad. He's actually shooting 36.5% from deep, which would be higher than any year on the Knicks outside of the COVID year in 2020, 2021 when there were no fans, and he shot 41% from deep. He's also shooting 50% from the field. Randle's numbers aren't bad, but there was a play last night or the night before where Rudy Gobert moved on a screen and Julius Randle just missed him and played lazily on defense. You know, all the Julius Randle things that upset people about Julius Randle. He did that. He did one of those where he kind of took a possession off and it was at the end of the game. And Timberwolves fans are not thrilled with Julius Randle right now. They are sick about this trade because Towns, I mean, 28 points per game nearly, 28 points per game, 27 points per game, 12.3 rebounds, 3 assists, 55% from the field, exactly 50% from 3 on the season. The man looks like an all-star starter this year, whereas Divincenzo does not look like the guy who ever played for the Knicks who put up 40 in an elimination game, and Randle isn't fitting very well. It's becoming this weird situation. And now Mr. Day asked, "What up, Charlie Knicks?" So essentially, Mr. Day asked if it's possible for the Knicks to get Dante Divincenzo back. Now, here's how the Knicks do that. And I don't want to give away the entire video I did, or then the video is going to do poorly, but you could do it. So there's loopholes. Throughout the entire collective bargaining agreement, there's loopholes. And the New York Knicks are good at finding loopholes, like how they did to get the Karl-Anthony Towns trade done in general, how they couldn't trade minimum contracts. So they gave 3 different guys, including Daquan Jeffries and Charlie Brown. Still insane that that's his actual name. They gave him $1 each above the minimum contracts. They could trade him to the Hornets as part of the Karl-Anthony Towns trade. And the Knicks, to get DiVincenzo, you could do it at the deadline if you make it a 3-team trade. So let's just take some literally just to pick a random team. And I highly doubt the financial aspect of this works because I'm literally just pulling teams out of thin air right here. Well, an extra team out of thin air. Let's say, what's a team that could use Mitchell Robinson? Like the Memphis Grizzlies. He has a house in Tennessee. It would be helpful to have a more veteran big man. There was a true center, not Jaren Jackson. Now, you can't exactly make the money work because DiVincenzo makes $11.4 million and Mitch makes $14 million. So in order to do that, the Knicks could trade the Grizzlies can't trade that $12 million Brandon Clark contract to the Minnesota Timberwolves because of the fact that you have to take in less if you're a second apron team, which the Timberwolves are. But let's forgo that for a second. Let's just use the Grizzlies as an example because they could use Mitchell Robinson. What you do is you move someone to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves complete the trade by sending DiVincenzo to the Grizzlies as its own trade. But then what happens right after is the Knicks send Mitchell Robinson to the Grizzlies, and they probably would have to send a second-round pick the Grizzlies' way in order for them to play ball. And actually, no, because they're getting Mitchell Robinson, so that doesn't even matter. So, and then the Knicks, what they do is they trade the first-round pick that they have, the Wizards pick, to the Grizzlies for cash considerations. And then the Grizzlies do the same thing with the Minnesota Timberwolves. So it's effectively a 3-team trade, but it's actually just 2 different 2-team trades that both involve, that were neither of those trades directly involve the Knicks or the Timberwolves, where they're never trading with each other, but they're using the Grizzlies as a secret passageway to get trades done. That is how you get Divincenzo back on the Knicks.
So that good Zach Galifianakis, the Hangover meme when he's
Yeah.
like all the
Oh
different
yeah, the numbers.
all,
Yeah,
all the
when he's
different math
counting
equations.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. The only thing that I'm thinking about is I would love to have Dante on the team, but if we're giving up Mitchell Robinson, then Kaz going to be the primary big. We're going to be
Yeah.
that's going to make Precious the number one big man off the bench, and you know
Mhm.
how I feel about Precious. Wait, is it going to put a little bit more responsibility on the Precious, on the Jericho Sims, maybe even Ariel Hukporti? I mean, I don't know, man. Yo, this whole Dante thing is interesting. Like, like the way that it's still looming,
I
it's
know.
still looming. It's still looming over us. It's like,
I'm also sitting back like you. I don't know why I'm sitting so straight up.
because you are a G. That's why. Uh, nah, but I don't know, man. It's just interesting how this trade has really like loomed over, and we're not exactly where we want to be. We're 7-6 right now, I believe. So right above 500, and people might have expected. I was talking to my friends yesterday in the group chat, and they were like, they told me that they're surprised that the Knicks have somewhat of a similar record to the Clippers. And then I gave them all the reasons why. Mitchell Robinson out, Precious Achiuwa is out right now, Deuce is out right now, Cass playing the 5. Like I gave him everything that we talk about, and then he just replied with telling me that I'm making excuses. And it's not really excuses, it's just facts. But
Yeah.
it's just, man, when you take a look at the rest of the Eastern Conference, like I don't want to say it's up for grabs. Because would you put Cleveland in the same tier as Boston for this season? I still wouldn't.
No.
I mean, they're 15-1 and
I
they
don't
lost to
care.
Boston, but like I'm seeing this stuff on Twitter and people are putting the Cleveland Cavaliers in the same tier as Boston. I'm like, wow, that's
That's
crazy.
that's recency bias. Okay, I do real quick. We do have to
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
yeah,
Charlie Nix because he's our moderator, so he's
yeah,
got some
yeah.
good questions for us. But very quickly on the Cavs thing, and feel free to respond, and then we'll go to Charlie's thing. Um, I think a team that has a backcourt of 2 offensively based guards and 2 defensively based bigs, where you never have 4 guys on the lineup in your starting 5 who could play defense and shoot. Like you have 2 guys who can't shoot on offense and 2 guys who can't defend on defense. That team's not going anywhere. They'll probably win the first round, but maybe not if they get a bad matchup.
It's the same stuff with Donovan Mitchell and his teams.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, we've been over
maybe
this.
yeah, maybe it's different, but I don't trust it. But if you want to say what Charlie had to say.
Yeah, so first of all, it's good to be back in a duo setting. It's been a while.
I know we're doing the
Facts.
videos, but back on the live duo for the first time since draft night.
Right.
It's been a minute, bro. It's good to see you.
Been a minute.
But as Charlie Nix mentioned, Cat has been a huge impact for the Knicks. Starting to notice the big minutes early are fatiguing him 6 minutes into the quarter. Should he play restricted minutes? I don't think he should play restricted minutes. I think this is something that comes down to the fact that that the Knicks are overplaying their guys. Tibbs is still overplaying everyone on the Knicks. It's just we've seen this for a while now. We've seen the fact that Tibbs just is really riding these guys hard, these starting 5. They need to go out there, and they're going to need to eventually start giving more minutes to the bench unit. And we talked about this the other day. It's probably due to a lot of injuries, because last season there wasn't a single Knick in the top 10 in minutes per game. So we've seen that it's not something that Tibbs has been up to lately, but recently he has been putting these guys on insane minutes where it's like, I mean, Mikal Bridges is averaging 39 minutes per game right now. Like, they're going to have to move it down, and what's probably going to have to happen is the Knicks are probably going to have to just wait for their guys to get back from injury. But once you get guys like Precious back and Deuce, you have to imagine the minutes are going to drop.
No, 100%. We literally hit this topic when we covered the Phoenix Suns post game on Wednesday. We talked about the minutes. OG on that night against the Phoenix Suns, 35 minutes. Josh Hart, 40. Karl-Anthony Towns, 35. Mikal, 40. Jalen Brunson, 36. And then the only player besides the starting 5 that had 15 minutes or more was Cameron Payne with 26. So to answer Charlie's question, should Cat go on a minutes restriction? Absolutely not. Um, Kind of sucks because if you take a look at it could have ramifications toward the end of the season. But like we said in the post game against Phoenix Suns, like Coach Tibbs is kind of in a tough spot. Like Deuce is out, Precious is out. Like you're not playing Tyler Kolek, you're not playing Jericho minutes, 20, 25 minutes a game. You're not putting the rookie Daddy A in for 20, 25 minutes. Ariel Hookporty. So literally the only person you have right now to give you some sort of minutes is Cameron Payne. Jericho Sims, we've been over a lot. Oh, what was that? Oh, anyway, Jericho Sims, we've been over a lot that like we're kind of underwhelmed with his progression as a player. So Coach Tibbs is kind of in a tough spot.
Yeah,
And go ahead, go ahead.
Speaking of Jericho Sims,
Another thing that Charlie mentioned is Sims's improvement has been up 15 games into the season so far. With the progression we see from Sims remaining as the backup center this year, are we going to see that? Or do you think we could potentially grab Devo back or another wing? So if we were to grab Divincenzo back,
What is Charlie said that Jericho Sims progression. What did he see that's actually progressing?
he does look more comfortable out there. Like there's a comfortability level that he has. He's getting more offensive rebounds. He seems like he's finding his footing. Believe me, I'm not a big Jericho Sims supporter, and you know this. I will say he's looked better.
But what do you mean? Like
Just
more
rebounding,
comfortable?
physicality, just.
All right.
I'm not saying
I
it's
guess.
perfect. I mean, I prefer Precious. Here's the thing: if the Knicks were to trade for Devo, they'd be trading Mitch, and then you have Precious as your main backup. As you said, that's worrisome. Which I agree with. He's undersized. Like, there's no way around it.
He can't catch a ball. Right. Dead ass, bro. Like I'm not letting that go. Until I see him catch a ball in the middle of the lane like 3 times in a row, then I'll be like, okay, maybe there's some sort of progression with his game. But carry on.
Yeah, I think that's when you move, when my Nick Richards agenda restarts. That's when I restart my Nick Richards agenda because
Is he playing right now or is he
He's
hurt?
injured. He's hurt.
He's injured, right? I haven't seen him on the highlights. I mean, Jericho Sims, like to me, honestly, he still looks like he's running around with his head cut off. But I guess
Kinda does.
with that poster that he had on Monday against the Wizards, which I'm still in love with and still replaying that in my mind. Like, I guess like Wednesday he did look a little better, but it's just like dude, you could do so more, bro. You could do so more. And bringing it back to the summer, remember all those videos when he was working on his like turnaround fadeaway with Mike Bibby?
yeah.
Like I know we were hyped about it, but like it's kind of happening what I said. Coach Tibbs is not allowing that at all. Jericho Sims is never gonna be able to pull that in a game. If he pulls that, Coach Tibbs is gonna yank him out. So I don't really know.
Get Hook Porty.
No, right? I just don't know what Jericho Sims can do. Just I don't know.
Neither do I. But look, just to catch up on some other stuff. I mean, look, you could also move if you were to get Divincenzo back. You could move into the starting five, put Josh on the bench. The way Josh is playing, he looks like prime Draymond Green right now. That guy is just doing all the dirty work. He's doing everything right. I'm loving watching this personally.
Is it fair to say?
He's a Randle believer.
Is it? Damn, this might be a little. I might be putting too much stank on it. Is Josh Hart a poor man's Draymond Green?
Well, compare him to 2017 Draymond Green. He's just a Draymond Green's Draymond Green.
Draymond is one of the smartest basketball players I've ever seen. The chemistry he
Yeah.
has with Steph is ridiculous. And Josh Hart does what Draymond Green does. It's just Draymond Green has the accolades, obviously.
I talked about this on a video like yesterday, I want to say.
I don't mean to disparage Draymond Green when I say he was put in the perfect position. Some players are put in perfect positions, some players aren't. It's good on Draymond that he was, and you're right. He's one of the smartest players in at least since this generation of basketball. He clearly is. He just does everything right. It's the same thing as Josh Hart, where the one weakness is his shooting is spotty. Getting rebounds he has no business getting. Playing awesome defense against more positions than makes sense. Every team has one of those guys. Draymond Green just made it famous because he was the best of all those like role player type guys. But it's unfair to call Draymond Green a role player. He's better than that. And I think Josh Hart's better than a role player. I mean, Josh Hart's averaging more points and rebounds than Draymond Green did in the year Draymond Green made All-NBA, was an All-Star, and won Defensive Player of the Year. He's doing He's doing more than Draymond did that year statistically.
Right.
Josh Hart deserves his flowers, and I know he gets them from within Knicks fans and people who really, really like basketball. I still think that man is so criminally underrated. Like, yes, he's the best role player in basketball, but it's getting to the point where saying, oh, Josh Hart's a role player is disrespectful. Steve Kerr, who coached Team USA in FIBA, he hit the head on the nail, or the nail on the head, whatever the saying is. I genuinely don't know.
Nail on the head.
He hit the nail on the head. Like, Josh Hart doesn't play a position. He's a winner. That's his position. He's a winner. Like, he just does everything right. He's always doing the right thing on the court. He's never really screwing up outside of once in a while where he throws a pass and it ends up 6 rows into the stands, which he's allowed to do because it's funny. And he's so good for this team. Like, I think Josh Hart is one of the most underrated players in basketball to this day. Like, I truly believe he is. Also, Knicks clear Celtics is very upset that I'm apparently hating on Randle. They didn't both win the trade, though. Both teams didn't win the trade. Right now, the Knicks are the winners of the trade. As of right now.
Just giving my 2 cents about Josh Hart and Draymond Green. Draymond playmaking, I'm gonna give that nod to Draymond.
Agreed. 100%.
Shooting, I would give that nod to Josh Hart. Draymond Green has this weird thing where like he just hit consistently. He's not really a good shooter, but then like he's kind of like Josh Hart, where like he takes big shots in big moments, and you're not expecting him to hit it, and then he hits it.
I mean, Josh Hart had one of the biggest shots of the season last year, the fake pass to Devo.
Exactly. For the season, this season, Josh Hart is averaging 1.3 3-pointers made on 3.5 attempted. That's 35.2%. Draymond, I think, is having a decent year shooting. 1.5 3-pointers made on 3.5, so that's 43%. So, I mean, Draymond's shooting has gotten a little better. I mean, the volume isn't really there. Same thing with Josh Hart, but I mean, they're one of those guys that like you hate to play against, but then you love them on your team. So no, shout out to Josh Hart and Draymond Green, but I forgot how we got onto this.
I don't really remember either. This is like what's great about these live streams is there's like a tiny bit of structure, and then we just talk about the Knicks. Like, that's why we called it happy hour. Like, because I got sick of doing these live streams, doing them on my own. Like, I have to talk to the comments, and it like would give me a headache to keep like looking up and down and stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do that. It's not fun. So I was like, I need some bar talk. Like, just like you're sitting in a bar watching a game. Like that's what this has become.
You know how I feel about just solo videos.
Yes, you've been on that from day one.
I need someone to go off of.
Guys, you're all excited to see the OGs of the channel here back on a duo, even though neither of us started this YouTube channel. We both joined after it had begun, but it's all right. Now it's ours. Now we run this thing.
Facts. Yo, did you see the since we're obviously talking about the Knicks Eastern Conference, the Orlando Magic with the W last night against the Lakers?
Oh, the France shot?
Yeah.
That was insane. But also, very quickly, you have a specific this is specifically aimed at you via Charlie Knicks. With the guys we have now healthy, what are your thoughts on how we will respond to both Boston and Cleveland the second time around? Because we've played them both and we've lost this season.
Wait, so say that again? Say that question again?
With the guys we have now who are healthy, such as Cameron Payne, who's been good on the bench, especially over the last 5 games or so, and with what we have now, what are your thoughts on the second time around playing? Like, next time we play each of Cleveland and Boston, like, 2 teams we lost to. One, we lost to Cleveland in the closer game, and then we lost to Boston in the violent blowout in the first game of the season.
So with everybody that we have right now, so excluding Deuce and excluding Precious?
Yeah. Say we played them tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to lose. We're still going to lose.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it might be a little bit more of a closer game because we've had a little bit over a month now with the offense and Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Their chemistry is getting better, but yeah, I mean, Cleveland is on a run. Boston is. I still think Boston is so wide and clear as far as the best team in the East. Even Cleveland included. Like Boston is its own tier. And then Cleveland might be its own tier, right underneath Boston. And then the rest of the Eastern Conference, it might be underneath Cleveland. So yeah, I still think we'll lose, but it might be a little bit of a tighter game. That's my answer to Charlie. But yo, Orlando Magic, very impressive win. They've been balling without Paolo, which has been surprising.
It's
Franz
also
looks like
scary.
he's, yeah, Franz has looked like he's found his shot. I remember there was a small little moment prior to the playoffs beginning last season where it looked like we were going to be facing off against Orlando Magic, and we both hopped on a video and we were like, we were a little worried
Yeah,
because
we
I
weren't thrilled.
remember Jonathan Isaac was finally healthy for an extended period of time, and he was like coming on strong. And we ended up not facing them, so great. But this Orlando Magic team, man, like I've been seeing them for a while, and it's just like they're just chipping away little by little. They're just like developing that chemistry, they're developing the rotations, and then you got a Paolo dropped a 50 burger ball within like the first 5 games of the season. Like, Jesus, man, that guy's development is insane, bro.
It's crazy how fast he's gotten this good.
Yeah,
I
I just
didn't
wanted.
think he'd be this good in the NBA, if I'm being honest.
Oh, in general?
Yeah, I never thought he'd be. He's like a hybrid of like a more ethical like. And mind you, I'm about to say two players who I absolutely love and who you absolutely do not love. He's a more ethical hooping version of a hybrid of Julius and Melo in my mind.
I don't hate Melo, bro.
I didn't say you hate him. I just say you didn't love him.
Okay, true. That's fair. Yeah,
Like,
both
he
of them.
doesn't stop the ball as much as Julius and Melo do, but the moves, the points of attack. But there's a more ethical version to it. Is there's less balls. It's more modern. It's more ethical.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Paulo
plays
plays
with
defense.
yeah, he plays within the flow of the offense, it feels like more
Yeah.
than rather than ball stopping. Absolutely.
Also, that
Yeah.
KCP addition to Orlando is just disturbingly good.
Yeah, he'll find his rhythm. I've heard and I've seen that like he's having a hard time just like knocking down the three, which is why they got him, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's able to offer something on the defensive end.
And he's a seasoned veteran. I mean, 2 different championships on 2 different teams. He's been on bad teams. He's been on good teams. He's just, to this day, and I do want to bring them up for like 5 to 10 minutes because it's just the funniest thing ever right now after all the trash they talked and the dirty playing by a certain someone.
Oh, I know that this was gonna be my next question. Go ahead, go ahead.
Philly should have signed KCP over Paul George. And I
Dude.
stand on this because they could have signed someone else. Oh, look, speaking of Philly, Joel Embiid is injured tonight against the Brooklyn Nets.
What is it? What's the report?
It's the fact that his knee's destroyed. He played consistently. Why did he play an injured knee against the Knicks and then turn around and go to Team USA? It was the dumbest decision.
Dude, the Philadelphia 76ers are cooked, bro. They're so cooked. It sucks. Look, dude, first of all, Joel Embiid and Paul George, well, Joel Embiid announced that he's not playing back-to-backs. I believe in the month of December, they have like 5 back-to-backs, and I think they have like anywhere between 14 to like 16 games in the month of December. Dude, they're so cooked, bro. It's so bad. Like I feel bad for them,
I don't.
but then that's what you get when you have a player who's injury prone and who you have questions about his work ethic. Dude, it's just sad because if Joel Embiid had a different type of career and he was actually healthy and being able to play, like I think he would be going down as top two big men, top two big man of all time. I mean, the accolades, none of us we can tell what championships, finals MVPs he'd win. But based off skills and talent, like he's already skills and talent, Chris. Like,
Skills wise,
oh
is
my
it different
God.
than greatness? Who's won?
Big man
Yes.
of all time?
Are you going skilled big
Ah,
man or just the greatest big man? Big man.
I get what you're saying. If we're doing greatest big man, the best big man of all time.
There's
Um,
a correct answer in my mind here.
Probably Kareem, but am I missing
Yes.
somebody? Yeah, but
No, you're not.
I'm going through Hakeem, Shaq, Kareem. I
Yeah,
mean, yo,
agreed.
honestly, Bill Russell, and Will Chamberlain, I don't count that era because they literally only had those two to go against.
That's fair.
Um,
I
I
don't do that, but I respect the opinion of doing that.
I go from like the 80s forward because
Fair.
that's just me in my mind.
Because that's when the 3-point
Kareem,
line started.
yeah, exactly. So Kareem in my mind is the best big man. But again, going to skills, dude, Joel Embiid has the footwork, he has the ball handling, he has a three-pointer, he has the post moves. Like, oh my God, bro, I feel so bad for him that he can't be healthy because I really believe that if he had a healthy career, he'd definitely have a championship by now. He'd have a Finals MVP by now, and then he'd be in the conversation. But it looks like it's not going to be like that. It looks like it's going to be like a could have been type of career, which is very sad.
I agree, but we do have some questions in the chat that I do want to get to. So, Knicks clear, Celtics did want me to say so. According to Brian Windhorst and Tim Bontemps, the Knicks are ready to win this year. Windhorst is optimistic about the Knicks' medium-term prospects. He thinks the Knicks will be good in like 2 years. So do I. This is just a quick hitter. I think the Knicks are still going to be good in 2 years. They're young enough where they'll probably be better, honestly. Towns will be 31. He'll be their oldest player who, like, matters. Mm-hmm. I think that'll be that. I mean, look, to recap the Wolves, and I do want to circle back because we got a comment asking, again, about Donte DiVincenzo. Just a quick circle back. As Charlie mentioned, also to recap the Wolves, I personally have been watching them, see how Randle and Devo work out, and truly, the Wolves are only strong with Ant, and McDaniels has been outperforming both. Look, McDaniels, I still think they should have traded him over Towns because you have enough defense to get by anyway with Rudy Gobert. I see the vision on why they did what they did. I just think it was a mistake. I think putting Julius Randle next to McDaniels and Rudy Gobert was a massive error because none of them could shoot the ball. What are your thoughts?
Oh, about keeping McDaniels?
About the Timberwolves going and trading Towns over McDaniels.
If I was the Timberwolves, I don't know, man. I mean, at the same, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of inching towards running it back, but at the same time, it's just I know what Cat's gonna give me in the playoffs.
No, you don't.
No, I'm talking about like, okay, you're right. Up until the end of when Minnesota got eliminated by Dallas, I know what Cat was gonna give me in the playoffs based off of his history with the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Fair.
So I get why they moved him, and it's Ant's team. I don't know, man. It's a really tough call. I think I would have done it, man. I think I still would have done the trade if I was Minnesota. I think I would have done it. McDaniels on the wing. I mean, he's struggling this season from what I've heard too. But it's just so much what ifs, man. I'm like, I would have done a trade, but I'm kind of taking a step back because what if Julius Randle? What if he actually puts it together and Donte DiVincenzo gets out of this cold streak and then Donte DiVincenzo's hitting shots, spreading the floor. Julius Randle is being implemented into the offense. Like, I'm like going back and forth. But if I was the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think I would have done the trade.
Well, something else that's brought up, just to recap it very quickly, the Knicks can get Donte DiVincenzo back. You have to work it out in a 3-team trade that's essentially 2 different 2-team trades. The Knicks just need a buffer team in between. They could trade Mitchell Robinson somewhere, and then that team trades a player that fits DiVincenzo's contract to Minnesota. And then that's when the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson for Donte DiVincenzo to that other team that acquired him. It's essentially a 3-team trade, but it's 2 different 2-team trades. It's a loophole in the CBA. Essentially, take 3 teams. Knicks trade. Well, first of all, the Timberwolves trade DiVincenzo to, let's say, this. Let's make them a different team. Let's say the Pelicans. The Pelicans trade a player back in return, and then the Knicks trade Mitchell Robinson for Donte DiVincenzo, and a team gets a draft pick from the Knicks in that. And then you got DiVincenzo back. Just to real quick recap that. Jokic would be above Embiid. That's true. I stand on that, too. They crazy trading Mitch for Donte. Defense wins chips. New schooler. We need Mitch. We stop talking nonsense. I mean, we need Mitch healthy, though, and Mitch hasn't been. I love Mitchell Robinson. He's my favorite player on the Knicks. He's one of 2 current Knicks who I have their jersey of. I have literally, because everyone whose jersey I buy ends up leaving. I have an RJ Barrett jersey. I have a Derrick Rose jersey given he's retired. The Melo one I got after he retired. I mean, I guess I wasn't alive for Bernard King, Walt Frazier, or John Starks, but I have Mitchell Robinson, and I have Pacome Dadier as a number 35 jersey because that's what he wore in Summer League, and I got it before the season started. So thanks, Pacome, for changing your number. Now I'm the only person with a Pacome Dadier number 35 jersey. I'm going to look like an idiot everywhere I go, but I guess I have a good explanation for it.
defense wins championships is hilarious because and in this NBA's landscape, I don't even know if that's true anymore. Um, yeah, man, if we get Dante back, like it'll the vibes will be amazing, but then it's like, oh yeah, Cat's gonna be the five and Precious. So we went over that a lot. But it's gonna be interesting to see what they do in the trade deadline if they do anything. Yo, real quick, going back to the whole big man talk that we had.
Yeah.
Um, what's your top three big men of all time? Best big men.
Like most skilled or just my top three in greatness?
Yeah, just top three in greatness.
I have
In
to
no
go
particular
through my
order.
top 10 players of all time, which I have more in my head. So Kareem's first because I think he's the third best player in NBA history. And the other two are whatever variation of Jordan and LeBron makes people happy. I don't really care. I think they're pretty much even. If anyone says this player is wide better than the other or far better than the other one, they're completely bugging. They're literally next to each other. They're literally 1A and 1A. Like, it's the same thing. And though I would give it to LeBron. But that's just because I've seen LeBron play. I didn't see Michael Jordan. That's 95% of the reason why I probably would say that. But I would probably... So I do count the earlier years, so I would put Wilt second. Discounting Wilt, I would put Shaq, because he was the most dominant force the NBA's ever seen.
Right,
Outside
three
of Wilt
finals.
Chamberlain, who
Yeah,
played when there was...
three finals MVPs. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, led the Lakers to a three-peat, won the Finals MVP every time. I mean, put up 37 and 16 in the NBA Finals, 35 and 17, something like that, in the NBA Finals. Consistently 30 and high 10s for the...
No, Shaq was a monster, bro.
Yeah, like just a different kind of player that the NBA had never seen before. The only thing that even came close was Wilt Chamberlain, so you got to give it to you got to give it there. If Daddy becomes a star at 35, jersey is going to be a sick one to have, like the Jordan 45 jersey. Yeah, Brad, I'm banking on him becoming a star. Knicks don't got the salary to get Dante back. I mean, they could make it work. And then third overall, Dirk up there too as top bigs. I count Dirk as more of a 4, but you can count him as a 5. Just big men in general, yeah. Third, if you want to count him as a center, then Tim Duncan. If not, Hakeem.
Yeah, that's interesting. Mine is Kareem, Hakeem, and Shaq, but then Duncan is always the one that gets um he's the one that always gets left out.
He's just more of a power forward, like for his
Yeah,
career.
I know. But I mean, some people consider power forward as bigs.
Yeah, true. I mean, look, I do think I have a weird top 10 all time that if I say I think so, I'm going to get a lot of hate for it because
Yeah, I want to
someone's
hear
not
it.
there. Okay. So
Real quick, run through it.
yeah. We'll get you back in here after you take a quick hiatus due to
Got it.
due to me not paying for Zoom Premium. Look,
Hey, listen, man. It's all good.
I'm gonna put him first because I think LeBron's first. I think the 22 years is just absurd for being this good.
You're going in order? You're putting the names in this is your order.
Yeah, I have an order. I think I have it listed in my phone actually.
Love it. All right.
I don't have it anymore. So it's some variation. I might be missing someone, and if I do, my bad. I'm exhausted. Look, LeBron, MJ, Kareem, Magic, Wilt. This is where
Wait,
I'm
hold-
forgetting someone.
Hold on, bro. Yo, do it again. LeBron won.
LeBron, MJ, Kareem, Magic, Wilt.
Okay.
I'm forgetting someone. Bill Russell, Shaq, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan, Steph Curry.
Ooh.
Someone's missing in there that people are not going to be happy about.
Yeah, I know you're missing the Black Mamba.
Yes, I am, because he's not a top 10 player of all time.
That's crazy.
He's probably like top 15, like 12th, 13th. He's great, don't get me wrong. One of the great scorers in NBA history, elite defender, most all NBA defensive teams as a perimeter defender, or maybe in general.
I mean, for the most part, your top 10 is solid. I would just switch Steph with Kobe for now.
Fair. I think
Yeah.
being the greatest shooter of all time just gives you a leg over everyone else, personally.
No, I get
Harden
it.
becoming
100%.
the second best shooter. Facts, he is. Harden's all time, man.
Someone says Harden's the second best shooting guard of all time.
He's the second best shooter. And there he goes. We'll get him back in 1 second. But yeah, guys, now that Dariel's gone, it's just me here. How we doing, guys? Guys, we got the Chris hour right now, and by the Chris hour I mean the Chris like 3 minutes. So guys, here's the thing. There's gonna be 2 of me for actually. Is that gonna screw up? No, it's not. So there's gonna be 2 of me until Dariel joins back. So we're just gonna break things down. And see, this is what I've wanted. This is what I've really wanted on Knicks Digest. I've wanted 2 of me. I want to talk, but I also want to see myself talk. I get texts all the time of people saying, "Oh, I want to." This guy just or comments. This guy just loves to see himself talk. There we go. We're back. Kobe, Duncan. I disagree. I think Duncan's better than Kobe. I think the defense. I think the fact that Tim Duncan just has gone out there and been elite all time. Look at that.
So I got cut off. Did someone say James Harden's the second best shooting guard of all time?
He said he's the second best shooter because Charlie mentioned that how Harden's now second in 3-point.
I was about to say.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not. I was like, who am I forgetting? Why am I? It's Kobe. I was like, who am I forgetting here?
It's actually MJ, Kobe, D Wade.
That's fair.
In my opinion.
I'll respect it. I'll respect it.
In my opinion. Yeah, I don't. James Harden.
D Wade's more of a true shooting guard. That's why.
I don't care. James Harden is my least favorite basketball player of all time. In the creation and since the beginning of mankind, James Harden, I hate that man, bro. What he did when he was with Houston is absolutely atrocious. Like the way he robbed the NBA with the money that he made. Literally, let me get at the top of the key, dribble the ball between my legs 35 times to do a step back 3-pointer. Like, yo, it was the most unentertaining basketball I've ever seen in my life. If I was one of his teammates, I dead ass would have decked him in the locker room. I'm like, yo, you're passing me the ball, bro. I'm not standing in the corner for my health. Dead ass. I would hate to play
if you
with
hate
him.
Luka.
I don't hate him, but he's not one of my favorite players. I just think he's
similar to Harden.
Yeah, a little bit lesser version, but he definitely gives me Harden vibes, and I just think that he's been on this pedestal that like he didn't really earn. When he got into the NBA, people were like comparing him to Larry Bird and stuff. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. You haven't done anything. Now, since then, 2 Western Conference Finals appearances, NBA Finals appearance. So, like, I just don't like that form of basketball, man. I don't like dominating the ball and everybody just working around you. I like a free-flowing offense. I mean, even LeBron James, like, yeah, you can say that he dominated the game, but his specific skill, his best skill is playmaking. He makes his teammates better around him, and I don't think James Harden, absolutely not. Luka, a little bit better than James Harden, but I don't think he does it. I don't think he does it at a level where I'm really seeing it. He's still very ball dominant, and I just don't like that type
We
of
almost
basketball.
had Marcel on today as a guest on the stream. And I would have loved if we had this conversation when Marcel was here, because that man
Yeah,
would not be standing for this right now.
No, 100%. And when we had him on the stream, we were gonna try and get into a little Luka topic, but obviously we were going all different types of ways.
The format, it's fun, but it's chaotic.
It is chaotic. Going back to your top 10, man. Kobe out of the 10. Strong opinion.
When I say this, people are like, why do you hate Kobe?
The hotel in 2000. No, I'm kidding.
Sheesh,
we're gonna blow past that and pretend I didn't say that. Look.
Thank you.
So I think he's great. I think he's one of the great on-ball defenders in NBA history. I think he's one of the great scorers in NBA history. He is historically god-awful in the clutch, especially in the playoffs. Historically one of the worst clutch players in history. Every year in his prime, he never got out of the first round. He didn't get out of the first round once without an all-star big man on his team. He never got past the first round without Pau Gasol or Shaq. I cannot justify that. That you're blowing 3-1 leads to a Phoenix Suns team and everyone's saying you should get the MVP that year, and then the MVP comes back from a 3-1 lead. Yeah, it's impressive you went up 3-1 as the 7th seed, don't get me wrong, but you blew a 3-1 lead. And I understand Steph Curry did also, who I put over him. Kobe blew it to Steve Nash. Steph blew it to LeBron. And to Kyrie Irving, that was as good as Kyrie Irving ever was.
Listen, man, Kobe's my favorite basketball player of all time, but whenever it comes to Kobe and these lists, like I'm always a realist. Um, in that in that series where he lost 3-1 lead in game seven, they lost by like 30 points. They got blown out of the doors. And on top of that, Kobe was trying to prove a point that I think during the playoff series, there was an article that came out talking about Kobe's a really bad teammate. He doesn't use his teammates. And for some reason, he used game seven to try and prove a point. And he was like trying to willingly give up the ball, making a point that like when I give up the ball, these are the teammates that I have. And at that time, I think it was Smush Parker, Luke Walton, I think Lamar Odom, Kwame Brown. So like he didn't really have a lot of talent around him. And the reason why I remember this so much is because I literally taped that game seven against the Phoenix Suns because I thought Kobe was gonna have like a 50 burger ball. I thought he was gonna like cement his legacy and being like, this is why he was the best player with Shaq and all that stuff. But then the complete opposite happened and I had to erase that tape. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at it.
Throwback to
I'm not mad at
tapes.
yeah, VHS. I'm a little older than you. We're not gonna harp on
I
it.
know VHS tapes. Not that young.
Thank God. Thank God. I was literally talking to someone the other day who didn't know what a DVD was.
Oh, come on now.
Yeah,
DVDs were prime in my childhood.
that was crazy. But yeah, no, man, the whole Kobe thing is interesting, man, because I like to consider myself a realist. Like I've seen those stats, Kobe in the clutch. They're not great. The game seven against the Boston Celtics, I think he was 6 of 23 or 6 of 24. The 2010 and Meta World Peace came through in the clutch and he made it up with like his rebounds. But yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at you having him outside of the top 10. He's in my top 10, no question, but I'm not
Fair.
mad at it. Yeah.
So, someone said that when KD's a free agent, let's hope he takes a vet minimum to play on the Knicks.
There's a
Who?
better chance. Kevin Durant. There's a better chance that I take a vet minimum and go play for the Knicks. That's not happening. I love the optimism, but not happening. Can we talk about how modern NBA players, the new school players, are way better? Well, players in the 2020s are better than players in like the 1990s because the fact that the game's evolved. All sports is like that. Like you're always going to find someone who's more talented than someone 30 years ago because of the evolution of sports.
This kind of goes into a topic that I was going to bring up as well. All these players being hurt, the hamstrings, the groin strains, the calf strains. Like, I think it's actually, and I can't take credit for this. I got to give it up to the podfather, Bill Simmons. I listened to his podcast. He brings up a lot of interesting takes. And I think what he said is kind of right, where today's NBA is actually, it might be the hardest because of just the athleticism, talent of the players, but the way they play, they get up and down, they're shooting, but the way that these players are attacking the rim whenever they're doing these dynamic Euro steps where it's using all these different muscles and they're fast twitching muscles. And I think the NBA is harder to play in today's landscape, which is causing all of these injuries. Um, it's just interesting to take a look at and the viewership of the NBA, which we talked about in a video earlier this week. And then some of these things that the NBA is trying with like the All-Star game. Did you see that with Shams and like these 14 and the rising stars? Like,
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. I have no idea. I've never heard of this shit before.
dude, I don't know. The NBA is trying so hard to try and stay relevant. It's just like I think the problem that the NBA has is everybody is trying to play the same, which is all these three-point shots. It's like, dude, not everybody is Steph Curry, not everybody is KD. And like all these NBA teams trying to like copycat and just be a three-point centric team. It's like where were in the 2000s and the 90s, everybody had an identity. Um, and I think personally, I think the viewership is down is because it's just the same thing. I turn on my TV, it's just everybody is jacking up threes. And I think that's the main problem with the NBA. Now, the whole All-Star game, I don't know what the hell they're doing, bro. They need to just I don't know what they could do with the All-Star game. Like the All-Star game, I don't even watch anymore, honestly.
Who cares?
What would honestly it'll never happen, but what would honestly get me back in tune, one-on-ones. If
Same.
they throw
Oh, I'd
if
be
they
so in.
if they throw in a one-on-one type of tournament like King of the Hill or something, it would be interesting, man. I just don't know if the players would actually go for it. Too much ego, too much money involved, all that stuff.
Like, I feel like if you put a financial incentive to it, but they did that with the All Star game. You win, you
Yeah,
make money
exactly.
now. what has to happen is it has to have some implication on the playoffs in order to make the All-Star game so relevant. And that's with all sports. People don't care about All-Star games anymore. They just don't.
Do people watch like do you watch the baseball MLB All-Star game?
No, I don't watch it.
Are you a baseball fan?
Yeah, I do Yankees Digest.
Oh yeah, you do. And you don't watch the All-Star game?
No.
And
I
then
don't care about the MLB All-Star game. Okay, I'll see Aaron Judge bat 3 times, and then I have to sit around and watch like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and other guys hit who I mean, yeah. Can't believe the first star I went to was Vladdy, but that's beside the point. Like, shout out Nick Goss, Jay's Digest. But
the thing with the NBA is the All-Star game is so bad. Like they don't care that you can tell that they don't care. That's how bad it is, bro.
exactly.
I don't know whether is the baseball All-Star game competitive still or not even.
There's more competition in the baseball one. I don't know why, but there is. I think it's because you get less of a chance to show out. You have 3 at-bats, and that's it. Like, once you do your 3rd at-bat, a pinch hitter who got voted to the bench is going to come in. Yeah, like, so someone mentioned, Nick's Clear Celtics mentioned, seeing Shohei Ohtani versus Paul Skenes was fun. Yeah, I mean, Paul Skenes is this young dude who happens to be dating Livy Dunn, and that's awesome for him. Congratulations, Paul. And your glorious mustache. But
What was their one-on-one? What does he mean they were able to go one-on-one?
because it's like pitcher and hitter, and so they're both pitcher, or well, Ohtani was not a pitcher this year, but like Shohei Ohtani's the best player in the MLB when he's a pitcher. When he's not, it's Aaron Judge. Paul Skenes is this guy who's like this rookie phenom. Like, it's hard to compare him to someone in the NBA because on day 1 of his MLB career, he was one of the best players in baseball. Like, instantly. Like, the second he got there. Like, he was an elite pitcher.
It's kind of like LeBron.
That's, like, where you have to put it. Like, literally, that's the first one that comes to mind. Like, he showed up, he's that good already. Like, he was the all-star starter. Like, instantly. First year. Like,
Sheesh.
Yo, just subbed. Thank you, Dig Boxy. The problem with Devo is the Knicks can't sign him to be a long-term solution. The shooting guard position, his performance last year was based on circumstances that fell in his lap. Yeah, but he was good in all circumstances, honestly. We're going to run this thing for like 10 more minutes, and then I need to drink some tea or something, dude. I got a birthday party to go to, and I'm tired.
Lit.
It's nearly 4 p.m. where you are right now. You're in the middle of the day.
Middle of the day. It's a little. Actually, no, it's not cloudy. It's just the building is blocking the sun.
Any other
Yeah.
plans for you?
Today,
You
nah.
got enough
Today. Actually, when we get off this, I gotta get my adulting on, and I gotta clean the apartment, bro.
fun.
Yeah, put some music in the background, maybe a podcast. It'll be a good time.
Dario, what's LA like? I was there for like 3 days. I've never really seen LA. What's it like? Give me the breakdown.
LA is cool, man. The thing is that like, dude, I literally just go to work and I come back home. And then on my off days, like, yo, yesterday I was so shot, bro. I was so shot. I was surprised. I barely went out to do my errands, and then when I got home, I just like was not even a couch potato. I was on my bed just catching up on these NBA highlights. But when I moved back here in January, that's when I picked up the job that I have now. But when I lived here in 2018, I was doing Uber for a little bit. And dude, that's how I learned the landscape of LA, and that was so fire because it's just like you just see everybody outside. You go to these different neighborhoods, and LA is huge, and everybody in different neighborhoods have its own type of vibe. It reminds me a little bit of Queens in that way, where I'm from. Shout out Queens. When you get
Because
the
when
money.
I went to LA and I texted you this, it was culture shock. I'd never been out of the Northeast in my life. And I'm there, and I'm just like walking around, and I'm like, I don't see a dive bar. Given I was in Santa Monica, so it's different. But like,
I was gonna say no, that yeah, where you went, it was very different. It's very touristy. You were by the pier?
I was a 5-10 minute walk from Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, that's very
Bayside Hotel.
touristy. It's cool.
It was a chill
It's cool.
spot.
Yeah, super chill. Very touristy. But LA is cool, man. I love it. I mean, sorry that you guys are gonna be heading into winter.
Dude, it is freezing. I was taking a bike to the gym today. My hands felt like there was needles poking into it. It's only 40. I
Oh,
cannot
no.
deal with cold weather. I'm so bad with the cold. I'm in a hoodie right now, and it's like 73 degrees in my room. Like,
There's no snow yet.
no snow, but we had some rain over the last 2 days. It's been
freezing.
I
But
saw
yeah,
that.
dude,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
what is LA like? Like how do you just are there just like
dive bars and stuff like New York on every corner. I know there's not bodegas because I learned the hard way that bodegas are a New York thing.
Yeah, no, bodega is definitely not. Deli is definitely not. Dive bars, yeah, there's dive bars around here, absolutely. Public transportation is. I don't want. LA gets a bad rap with public transportation, but the thing is that there's not enough of it. It's very like they have it, but it's very, very limited. You, if you're in a specific area, you're able to get around. But New York, if you're in one of the five boroughs, you could literally go to a subway in every corner and then you get to Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, obviously. It's not like that in LA. Like if you get on the train, it's only specific areas where you can get to. It's not like I can hop on a train, transfer, and then just go to a different part. It's like, no, you hop on a train and you have like one destination. The buses, it's just kind of the same thing as the trains. Public transportation, again, it's not great, but I mean, I use it to get to work. I live pretty close to where I work, so I'm lucky in that way. But that's something I definitely miss from New York, the public transportation. Um, Honestly, man, if I'm gonna keep it real, LA is a little. Everybody's out here to try and like everybody's out here for their own. The amount of times where I've had conversations with people where it's like, oh, what do you do? And then when I don't mention like the entertainment industry, you can feel the energy just shift. It's just like, oh, you're not in the entertainment industry, so why am I talking to you? It's like,
oh boo.
yeah, yeah, it's like, oh wow. But
Okay,
it's cool.
one more question about LA, and this comes from Knicks Clear Celtics. How are the girls in LA?
I'm crying. Nah, yeah, the women are definitely nice, man. They're not as layered as women in New York. Uh, that was a shock when I first got here in 2018. I got here in October of 2018, and I remember just like everybody out in like shorts and shirts. I'm like, what the hell? Just the amount of skin that I saw was just surprising. I was like, wow, women
Nice.
are definitely, yeah, the women
Oh
is
my
definitely nice
God,
out here.
Got a little thumbs up right there. But all right, Randall will be traded to the LA Clippers for Harden. That's a bold take. I feel like he'd be traded to
Ooh.
like, some I could see it being traded to the Clippers, but not for Harden. I feel like it'd be for some package deal of like a few different contracts personally. I think
Shout
that
out to the
would make more
Clippers
sense.
because they're staying afloat. They're playing good. They
It would
have
make
good
sense
pieces.
to trade for Randall also. Like you get a guy who's like just get a weapon to use win now, so you don't just give those picks away to OKC.
Randall to the T-Wolves.
To the Clippers.
Oh, Randall. I thought you said Harden. Randall to the Clippers. Um, I mean, this- I don't want to say the season for the Clippers is a wash, but the way Harden is playing right now, he's more of a playmaker. I wouldn't do it. I actually like the way Harden's playing right now. He's on the other side of his career, which he's realizing, thank God. So he's more of a playmaker, and I've always liked the playmaker, James Harden. They're doing good though. They're just staying afloat. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised, but I'm impressed with how they're just. I think they're above 500. I think they're like 9-7 right now, something like
Yeah,
that.
no, they're doing all right. Like they're definitely turning some heads. Can we please talk about Ty Jerome? Who is this guy and when did he get so good? I used to be in a group chat with Ty Jerome back in the day because a homie of mine who I've not talking to in a little bit of time now. Oh, well, the hand
No,
went.
go ahead. Finish your story. This is how I feel about anything associated with the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I was in an NBA like 2K league for a little bit, and
Lit.
friend of mine who got me in there, he knows Ty Jerome because they work in for the same company. Because that friend of mine, none other than my guy Emmanuel Quickley, IQ. I don't think you watch Knicks Digest because I never really told you to. I just said I do make a YouTube channel. I don't have to mention this at all, and you told me to mention it, so here you go. IQ, haven't talked to you in a bit since you got traded because now we don't live nearby each other anymore, but hope all is well with you, homie. I was so sad when he left. I was like, dude, literally, I have a friend on the Knicks, and now he's just in Toronto. But he's happy out there, from what I've heard, and he's living good. He's doing his thing. So shout out to Emmanuel Quickley. Yeah, he's had some injury problems since he got to Toronto. I'm hoping he figures that out. He's thin, man. He's a thin guy. Like, he can get rattled around a little bit, but when he's on the court, he really is a game changer. I do miss him in New York. It's cool to see Deuce McBride kind of showing some of that IQ spark. Shout out Deuce McBride. Him and I live in the same neighborhood. Not that I've ever seen him. Yo, my brother, like 7 or 8 months ago, longer than that, actually, like around a year ago, he was like chilling like near the West Side Highway, like near Chelsea Piers of Manhattan. Dude, he's like, damn. Like, he's just walking down the street. He's like, damn, that guy walking his dog is like way taller than me. He turns around and he realizes that it's just Evan Fournier.
Oh my god.
And he's like, wait, what?
Evan Fournier's like what? He's like 6'9", something like that, 6'8",
6'7".
6'7",
like 6'6", 6'7". He's not a small guy, and he's like your height.
If he's 6'7", yeah, he's literally my height.
That was still absurd seeing you in real life. 'Cause I'm taller than everyone, so I was like, oh my god, you were not lying. You were not lying about your height.
You know, definitely not. It's crazy how we've only seen each other in person once, and it's probably not gonna happen for a very long time.
Well, what I do, I owe you a Bud Light, so.
Yeah, whenever we come out to LA or when I go back home, we'll definitely get a drink.
I'll pop out soon. I have like a thing. It's not my thing, but it's a thing that I'll be involved in, sort of.
That might bring me out to LA around the March time, so I'll definitely let you know. So.
Yeah, no, just let me know, and then we'll definitely get a drink.
Oh shoot! No shot. You know IQ. That's a cap.
So just to explain the story, very quickly. I am very good at NBA 2K play now online, or I was. I haven't really played it at all this year because I find NBA 2K to be horrifically boring now. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I'm getting older. I don't know what's going on. My love for video games is dying, which kills me. But but I got randomly matched up with his gamer tag, and I'm sorry, IQ, I'm about to announce your gamer tag. It just says Emmanuel Quick 3. Like, it's Emmanuel Quick and then the number 3. And my instant thought, I'm not even kidding you, I'm just like, damn, this guy must be a really big Emmanuel Quickley fan. Like, that's where my brain went. My brain's like, it's not Emmanuel Quickley. And then I get into the game, and it's not like he's using the Knicks. He's using the Sacramento Kings. Little did I know that one of his friends is obviously on the Sacramento Kings and De'Aaron Fox. That Kentucky connection goes strong. But I then see he has a little NBA logo over his head. So I jump on the mic real quick. I'm like, yo, I'm a huge Knicks fan. Are you Emmanuel Quickley? He's like, yeah, bro. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy. And then, like, we just talked some trash to each other. We joined a league together, but I didn't keep up with it because it was just kind of bothering me. But shout out to Emmanuel Quickley. He's the man. He is way better than me. And also, Dario, someone asked you if you were a college basketball player, which I guess technically you were. It's not where it ended, but
yeah,
so,
no, I played Division II at Malloy College. Malloy College is in Rockville Center, New York.
Yes,
That's
sir.
in Long Island. Yeah, I played there for 4 years. Look up the stats if you want. Go on the website.
What part of Mexico did you play in?
I played in my first year was in Nuevo Laredo, which is like right on the border of Texas, and then my second year I was in Chihuahua.
Nice. That's near California?
Chihuahua? No, Chihuahua is more like it's more inward.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Chihuahua was rough because I was like in the middle of nowhere, and it was pretty rough. But yeah, damn, I was gonna bring something up. Oh, the Milwaukee Bucks. They've been playing a little bit better as of late. I'm always keeping my eye on just the rest of the Eastern Conference to see where the Knicks are gonna lie. Have you seen them play a little bit? If
Look,
anything?
I mean, Dame's offense looks good, but I can't trust a team that has no defense outside of Giannis. I think Brook Lopez is cooked. I think, what's his face, Chris Middleton is cooked. I think Damian Lillard, he's all right, but he's so injury prone. This is a team that's just held together by the sheer force of will that is Giannis. I imagine they'll end up being a play-in team this year and make the playoffs, but
Brook Lopez being cooked? I don't think he's cooked. He's close to it, but he's playing all right.
that's his game ages well because he was never a good athlete. He's there to block shots because his timing and his finesse is very good, and he's an awesome shooter, especially at the elbow. Can totally stretch it out to the 3-point range. But like, what he does never required athleticism, which has helped him stay pretty solid into older age. But after the neck injury and stuff, I mean, he bounced back, but it feels like he's at the end of the road.
Oh no, absolutely. I agree with you there. I do think that I don't think he's cooked, but he's definitely close to being like, okay, like you're just not the same player anymore. But like from what I've seen, like he's all right. 3-pointers, he's making 2 out of 5.5 for the season, which is 34%. I mean, yeah, that's not bad. The volume 5.5, that's like a decent amount of shots. Um, 4.6 on 10 field goal attempts, 46.3. And the reason why I'm like talking about this is because like I've been seeing that in like NBA Twitter, like people saying Brook Lopez is cooked. And I don't think he's cooked. Every time I watch the highlights, I'm seeing Brook Lopez like get a block here, hit an important 3 here. But yeah, the whole Dame and Giannis thing, I still don't understand why they haven't been able to unlock it, which is crazy. Um, Remember how I said on the Phoenix Suns game, I was like, I don't want Cat and Jalen Brunson to feel like a your turn, my turn kind of thing.
Yeah.
Every time I see Dame and Giannis, that's all I get. I'm just like,
Same.
oh, okay, Giannis decided that it's going to be his turn. But I just don't understand how they're not able to play together, yo.
Neither do I. I'll be honest, I just don't believe in them. And also to the person commenting that Jared McCain's a 90 and 83 on 2K, that's absurd. It's not really accurate at all.
Strong
He's
rookie.
great, but to already move him up 10 rating points is insane. And it's 2K trying to hold on to relevance while they slip out because the game's just, I don't know. 2K is not the same anymore. And frankly, Dario, I'm going to fall asleep in a second, and I got things to do. So we're going to wrap this thing up. Guys, any last questions before Dario and I head off?
You have a birthday party. I got to get to cleaning.
Oh, yeah. Super fun stuff, man. Yeah, but I
Lit.
think we got Bucks and 6 at full health. Yeah. Yeah, the Knicks would beat the Bucks in a playoff series. Both teams healthy, I truly believe.
I'm with it. I'm with it.
I think they'd beat everyone in a playoff series but the Celtics, and they can beat the Celtics. It's just an uphill battle.
I'm rolling. I'm rolling.
Well, Dario, it's been fun running it back as the duo. Very, very nice.
Gives me retro vibes.
Absolutely. Back in the day type stuff. Now, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be dropping a video a little bit after this in an hour at 8 p.m. The full breakdown on the Divincenzo stuff I will be giving, so make sure you subscribe so you can see that video. Turn on them post notifications. Like all the videos, subscribe, Deuce McBride and all that, and Taj Gibson for president. I'm giving a lazy outro right now, dude. I'm tired. When you guys,
I don't have the energy to give the outro either.
when you guys link posted, when we link up, we'll host a happy hour live stream when we're in the same room, which will
That'll
be
be
sick.
lit.
Be the first time we ever filmed a video in the same room, and it'll be fine. Outside of, I guess, when we were on the Raptors Digest post game, where it was just Ben after multiple drinks.
When we were walking down the stairs of MSG.
Yeah, and Ben's just like drunk handing us his phone. Shout out Ben Rogers of Raptors Digest. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we'll catch y'all next time on Happy Hour. Thank you for tuning in to Happy Hour episode 8. We'll catch y'all next week, Friday, 6 p.m. As always, have a great day.